Hi guys, welcome back. Ohio Trapper here. Just figure I'd go over a couple things here. I just got back from checking my line now. It's been a week since we did those. We set out those coyote sets, and it's been rough. We've had almost a foot of snow since we set those traps, and I've got one set of tracks coming through that area, and that's just not. It's not an ideal location, so we're going to run him for another week, see if we can pick him up, and I'll take you out there with me if we do. But I figured, why not use this opportunity to go over some of my leg hold traps. A lot of people are riding that MB 550 train that's going on right now, and that's fine. You know, that's a very good trap. That's a good trap for the money. It's worth every bit of it, especially for somebody who doesn't want to. Doesn't necessarily want to mess around with, doing a bunch of things to the trap afterwards. And so yeah, let's jump right into it. I'll show you some of the traps that I use and what I've done with them, and all of this definitely depends on your state laws. Ohio has a clause in our laws to where there's some modification that needs to be done to your traps if you want to run the biggest trap possible. And a lot of guys don't want to do that. They just want to go with the simple, unbox it, rust it up, wax it, and dye it and wax it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I firmly believe in running the largest trap that you can possibly run on land for coyotes. And then that's just that's just me. I want to run the biggest trap that I can by law. So I'll run you through. I'll actually show you in the book here where it said what it says about Ohio. So maybe your states are the same, maybe it's not. And these definitely are going to require some modification to your traps if you want to go by this, or you can just buy the MB 450, MB 550, whatever, and you'll be within these guidelines. But like I said before, I'm not a bandwagon guy when it comes to traps. I get whatever that I can use and make it work. That's just me. A lot of guys do that. There's tons of videos out there of modifying traps. You can buy them fully modified. I don't. I just buy the trap and modify it to my liking. Whether it be adding laminations, I always put more swivels on them no matter what, and go from there. I don't have any four-coiled traps at all except my Beaver traps, which I'll show you, that I have not used. I've not trapped for Beaver. I'd like to. I just don't have the property to do it. But I do have a couple traps set up here for some caster mount sets with some drowners. I'll show you guys. But for canines, I do not use any specific trap. So let's go through it real quick. Okay, guys, like I said, you have to go through your state laws. Now, this right here, it's telling you foothold traps set on land may not have an inside jaw spread greater than 5 3/8 inch. Except traps greater than 5 3/8 inch, but 6 inches or less, may be utilized provided they have a minimum of 3 swiveling points and the gripping surface is 5/16 or greater. Now, what that means is a 6-inch trap is the largest trap that I can run. That's it. So I have 3 traps set out here for you guys. I've got the MB 550, a Duke number 3, and a Bridger Douglas number 2. So we're going to go through every one of these traps, and I'm going to show you what I do to them. And these are what I run, and I also have a bunch of MB 450s right there that I haven't even set. There's a dozen MB 450s right there. Those things are well within all the guidelines. They've got plenty of swiveling points on them right out of the box. I run those the way they sit. I just have not put them in the ground this year because I've been running my other traps. So So let's get back to it. I'll turn the camera around here, and then I will go through these traps, and I'll show you exactly what I do to these to make them run legally in the state of Ohio. So let's start with the Duke number 3. This trap is the one that I modify the most, and honestly, it's probably one of my favorite traps. It takes a little bit more modification, but it is one of my favorite traps. Now, the Duke number 3 from factory, I'm going to set it here. From the factory, right out of the box, it has a jaw spread of, let's see if I can catch my tape measure here. Five 3/8. So I do not have to do anything with this trap to widen the gripping surface, which would be your laminations. It may be close to 5 1/2, but I'm measuring 5 3/8 right now. So, but also I do laminate these. Let's see if I can catch myself. I do laminate these. You see the laminations on them. That gives me plenty of gripping surface, even if since it's close. That gives me 5/16 a gripping surface, and that's what the book requires you to have. If you have your laminations on any trap is going to give you, now like you just got to be careful because you got to know which side to laminate the jaws on. But since I have a jaw spread within the regulations, I laminated the outside. I'm well within here. And the only other thing that I do to this trap is it gets night latched. This trap's night latched. See, it sits nice. And I cut my chain, put a swivel. There's a swivel at the front, 2 swivels there. I add another piece of chain, another 2 swivels, and then I attach my earth anchor. That's how I run my Duke number 3. I like it. It's a little bit longer of a chain than all the other traps that I run. It's not seemed to bother anything. I don't get any foot damage because they get a lunge on them. I would like to weld the base plates on these eventually. I don't mind the swivel being on the side. It's easier to bed. That's just my opinion. So that's how I run my Duke number 3s. This is a good trap, guys. For the money, a Duke number 3. If you can just do those simple modifications, I'm not even sure if you can buy them modified. I'm not real sure, but that's how I run my Duke number 3s. Now my MB550. This is an MB550. This thing, let me set it. This thing is out of the box. I don't believe I've done anything to these, and that's why everybody likes these traps. They come night latched. They come night latched, ready to rock. They're base plated, bolted, center swiveled. This comes all like this. Sorry, it's got some ice on it. It was in the bed of my truck. So it's got 4 swivel points on it, and I just attach my earth anchor. That's what I do. Real short chain on my MB 450s, or 550s and 450s, same setup. And my earth anchor. That's how I attach all my earth anchors. But this trap is, I'm measuring 5 inches inside to inside. So it's well within everything. This trap, and that's why everybody loves these traps. They're a perfect size trap. They're roughly a number 2 size trap. They're ready to go right out of the box. Just dye them, wax them, go. So, but yeah, they're night latched, everything. That's what I do with my MB550s. I do nothing other than dye, wax, put my tag on it, throw my earth anchor on it, and it goes. That's my MB550. It's a smaller trap. I have a full, half-inch more of a jaw spread and a bigger pan on that Duke number 3. That's why I like them Duke number 3s. Now the Bridger, dogless number 2 offset. Just like the MB550 has an offset. You know, it allows those levers to come up and lock a little better. So the Bridger number 2 dogless offset is probably my go-to. I like it. Out of the box, no extra chain, 4 swivel points, earth anchor, and with these I laminate the jaws. What I do, let's see how wide this thing is. Remember, 5 3/8 or 6 inches, more than 3 swiveling points, and 5/16 gripping surface. That's the law. So, measure this trap out of the box. It comes to 5 5/8 gripping surface, or 5 5/8 jaw size. So, I definitely had to laminate this trap for it to be legal. That's why I laminated it. Now I've got a 5/16 gripping surface. It's ready to go. But that is almost the biggest trap that I can run. I do have some Bridger number 3s. Now the Bridger number 3 dogless, let me see if I can. Oh, where are you at? Here. The Bridger number 3 dogless, right here, is an enormous trap. Out of the box, that sucker measures out 6 1/8 inch. That's why I had to modify this trap so much and get it to within the regulations. You got to laminate the inside jaws and outside jaws of this trap. But honestly, these ones are getting sold. Anybody wants to buy some Bridger number 3 dogless traps ready to go? I just don't need a trap that big. It's too much. I might as well just go ahead and get the Bridger number 2s. These ones, they're good. I may keep them. I don't know. People catch beaver on them. I might set them up for my beaver sets or whatever. So, but yeah, those. I've only got a few of these. I don't even mess with them. They're all rusty and nasty. I haven't even finished modifying them yet. So, the Bridger number 2, dogless, big trap, close to the biggest trap I can run. I love the dogless. 4 swivels, good to go. That's my preferred way to do it. I like the dogless, I really do. Don't have to night latch it. Comes night latched, I like it. So, that's how I set my traps up. MB550, MB450, get nothing except my tag, earth anchor, dyed and waxed. Bridger number 2, dogless, have to modify it. I have to put the laminations on it. The Duke, I laminate, night latch, add chain and swivels. My favorite out of them, I don't really have necessarily a favorite. I think the Duke number 3 beds better than the other ones. The MB550 probably beds the worst. When you're pushing down on the jaws and levers of the MB550 down in a trap bed, it likes to go off. The dogless Bridgers don't. That's what I like about the difference between them two. So, like I said, guys, go by your state laws. You have to go by your state laws. Another thing I'm going to start doing is I started setting up some of these. I'm going to start using some split rings. I have a bunch. That's how I'm going to start attaching my trap so that it lays in the trap bed like that. And you don't have a swivel messing with it. It'll just be a lot easier. I'm going to start doing that. But my Beaver traps, I have Duke number 4s, 4-coiled. Duke number 4s, 4-coiled. And they're night latched. They're ready to go. These are huge traps. Beaver have a huge back foot. You know, the TS85s is the go-to everybody seems to go to. The Duke number 4s, I picked these up cheap. I have a half dozen of them, and I got, let me see here. I got them wired off, cabled off to these with drowners on them. I don't know if you can see them that well. These are just big steel plates, and that's what I'm going to do with those. So, yeah, they're a lot heavier, so I'll move my phone. So that's how my setup. It goes right into the 4-wheeler. I got 2 drowning rigs, cables, everything set like that. And they're heavy. So, but like I said, guys, that's how I set my traps up. I kind of like tinkering around with the traps, with the Dukes. And if I go to buy any more traps, I like the MB550s, but I can buy for the quantity. I can buy more Dukes, and I'm okay with that. You know, everybody will scream, "Oh, MB's made in America." That's fine. Bridger, I believe, is made by MB. I do like the Bridger Douglas number 2, and it's going to be a toss-up between the Bridger Douglas number 2 or the Dukes. Now, the Duke did just make that 550 Pro. Really curious on how that trap's built. But yeah, that's the 4 traps. I got the MB450s, which those things are tanks. They're little tanks, so I'm gonna go with that. So that's how I do things, guys. It's cold. I love coffee. That's how I do things. Everybody does it differently. I believe that more swivel points the better. I believe in a shorter chain the better. I don't like to give the dog a lot of room to move around and get some pressure on that stake. A lot of people go with those J.C. Connor shock springs, whatever, to each his own. I just don't. That's more gear than I want to put on my trap. But that's what I do. Crunch-proof swivels and earth anchors. I don't care what kind of earth anchor you use. Use earth anchors. Get rid of the cross stake idea. You'll save money. They're reusable. And yeah, I think if you go with that kind of a style, then it's less weight that you got to carry around. Those stakes get heavy. When I run my coon line, I take every bit of stake I got. I probably got 50 stakes, and thankfully I do it on a 4-wheeler 90% of the time, because that would be those are heavy. So that's how I do things, guys. And I want to give a shout out to Tom Kelchick and Everything Outdoors, Trapper J, Coon Creek, Iowa Trapper. Iowa Trapper is one hell of a trapper. There's a lot of guys out there. Get on my channel. You know, there's so many guys out there doing this, and we're a small community amongst all the outdoorsmen. So definitely go check out some of those guys. And if I miss you, I'll mention. I've talked to so many people. This YouTube thing has really blown up, and I've gotten my fingers out there with a lot of different guys, and I appreciate it so much. It's I never figured it would take off, but it's starting to. And I've gotten people get a hold of me on Facebook, through YouTube, tons of different guys out there. So I appreciate all the support, guys. Again, I'm not doing this to make money. This is informational. How I do things. If somebody learns even the smallest little thing from what I put out, that makes it worth it to me. I've learned so much off of YouTube, and most trappers do. I guess everybody does on any kind of subject. YouTube's kind of an adult school anymore. So, but yeah, guys. Hopefully we've only got a couple more weeks of season. End of February. That's going to be it. I don't know if I'll get out to those muskrat ponds or not. This snow has got me pretty much wrapped up. So we'll see. Once we're supposed to get down into the negatives this week, so we're just gonna have to play it by ear and see what happens. So hopefully some of this helped you guys. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you want. If not, that's fine. Don't hurt my feelings. Hopefully you learned something. And until next time, guys, thank you very much.